We're going to be talking about, it allows you to... Is Zoho marketing automation confusing the hell out of you? Well, you're not alone. There's a ton of people out there who feel the same way. So make sure you tune into these tutorials to make sure that you get your system set up properly at the start. In today's tutorial, we're going to be talking about making your first contact list. So let's log in and I'll see you there. All right, now that we're logged in, we can actually start creating our first contact list. So if we go over here under the lead section, that will pop up this other sub menu and we can select manage lists. In this, we can click create list here and we're going to call this my first list. We can also say whether we want leads to join this list via sign-up forms. And this is actually something else we're going to talk about in the future. In this case, we're just going to say no, but essentially this could be included or integrated into the lead gen side of things here. And when you click on that section, it's going to open you up to a bunch of new forms that you can actually build and integrate into your system. Now, these forms can also integrate into contact lists. So you can select a list you want an individual to go into using these forms as well. So now that we have my first list, we are going to create it and we're going to say no to leads joining this list via sign-up forms. So we're just going to click create. And now we have the option to add leads into our list in a few different ways. We have through manually, so we can edit that and add them in manually there. We also are able to import leads through a CSV or some other format as well. And then we have the sync leads. So we can actually sync with other third-party tools and Zoho tools as well. In this tutorial though, we're gonna be going through what it looks like when you add via a manual method. So I'm just gonna click add new. I can click lead or multiple leads. This just gives you the option to add multiple at once. And this just really gives you the option to add one at a time. So let's just go with the lead option here. It's going to give us a whole bunch of information that we can then add in, but we can also go back and click multiple leads here. So this allows us to input many names all at once and fill in any of this information that we deem as most relevant. So I'm going to go back here. We're going to go through the lead section first. So the lead email, I'm just going to put in my email, casey@clientric.co. I'm going to leave the title blank, first name Casey, last name Luft, job title, just going to put CEO, company name Clientric, and phone I'm going to leave blank. And then we also have the ability to add in additional details here. So secondary pieces of information, social information, custom information. We don't have any of those yet, but we can talk about that in the future as well. Account information, so the subscription type, marketing, unsubscribed, or non-marketing are subscription types. Then it gives you the option to overwrite the subscription for any existing contacts. We can also create or add topics to an individual contact. So each lead, when you send out a newsletter, has to be assigned to a topic. So any leads going forward, we'll go through this in more detail and we can set this up so there's different topics. And that basically just allows your contact to be able to select what they want to be a part of. So for example, you may have various different products that they are interested in learning more about or being a part of. And in this sense, you can assign them to be a part of specific products. Let's say they want to be a part of product A and product C newsletters, but they do not want to get any information from product B. So that's essentially what Topics does. It just allows your contact to have a more granular control of what kind of marketing information they will receive. So in this case, we're just going to select marketing for now because that's our only one. And this contact has given consent to receive emails relevant to my product. This is something that is now mandatory. This wasn't there before. And then we also have the lead source down here. So this lead source allows us to say where it came from. In this case, it's a very basic lead, so I'm not going to say anything here. And we can just click add, and that will add the lead to our very first list. So we can see that we have 1 as a total count. There's a new lead of 1. Unsubscribed from this list is 0 because I only have 1. And my personal email, I haven't unsubscribed from it yet. And then you can unsubscribe from an associated topic as well. So if we go back here, let's say we want to manage lists, you'll see that my first list has 1 contact in it. So on the right-hand side in brackets here, you'll see the number of users that are in this list. And from here, that is basically it. Now, when we come into it, we're going to be on this list summary page. That is going to give us a very basic overview. And then we can also actually click the response view over here for the list summary. And you can see a bunch more information about the responses, which is really cool. And then if we click on leads here, you can also see the responsive leads. So how many people are responding to your emails and connecting with you. So it gives you a little bit of a more granular approach. Now back on this main dashboard page, we can click on the leads tab up here. This will let us see all the leads that are in that list. We can go through and create segments within lists. You could have, multiple different products as a segment underneath a full product. So that's one way to go about it. So maybe you have a list of users or people interested in your product and you want them to stay on a general mailing list. Within that, you can create segments for people who have already subscribed or who are already customers, something like that, so that you have different segments around that you can actually utilize. We have the workflow tab over here, which allows us to create some pretty cool automation pieces, which we're going to dive to in the future. And then we have campaigns. So this is another way to create a campaign. Again, we're going to dive into this in a lot more detail, and I'll show you in depth there. But I just want to give you an overview of what it looks like when you create your first list. All right, and one more thing we can do before we go is that we do have the ability to add in new leads from this view as well. So if we click this plus sign, we can see this add leads button. We'll select that. And we're taken back to the screen we saw the first time. So instead of just creating one at a time, let's just add multiple leads to see what that looks like. So in this case, I'm going to select marketing here. I'm going to select this, and I am going to select dev.clientric.co@gmail.com. Clientric dev. This is an actual email that we use for our developers and for other emails. So this is something that should work. And if we add it, you'll see that one new lead has been added. So total count, one new lead. You could go through and add in multiple leads through that section just because it gives you the option to do 5. So we didn't do that this time. We just added 1. And now if we go back to the list view, we'll see that we have 2 leads now. So there's 2 different views in order to get there. Just briefly, if we click on this all leads section, we can see all the leads we have and who they're associated with when you dive into them. So if you click on this, you can click edit here, continue to edit the contact details. You can also click this and view all details. This gives you a bit of a deeper dive into what this contact has been up to and emails and things like that they have received. So if we exit out of this, we can also import more, and we'll dive into this one in the future here. And then we can add new over here and again do the lead and multiple leads. This is another view. It's a slightly different view because the lead isn't associated with any given list yet. So we'd have to go in here, and if you just click this, you'll get a list of all the lists you do have that you've already created. So we see that the only list we have is my first list. And now any of the leads we input here will be associated to my first list. And then you go through and do this over and over again. So as you can see, there's multiple ways to do things. You'll find that that is quite commonplace in all of the Zoho tools. You just kind of have to learn the ins and outs of each. So I hope that's been helpful. As always, make sure that you do subscribe and make sure that you also follow us on our other platforms like Facebook and Instagram. And we can't wait to connect with you there. Anyways, we hope this has been helpful and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.